game on boil. Your plan get foiled and then spoil. Your whole body get coiled up like a gargoyle. Out on the limb, make it real hard for you. You caught the toil, 6 feet deep in the soil. Crypt keeper, grim reaper, death through the speakers. I still a vista. Welcome to my creature feature. Acapellas, Rockefeller like ether. Light up the green reefer. These mean streets to eat you up, beat you upside your Caesar. This rhyme is a keeper. The album is coming. Here's a leaker. You be the receiver of a meat cleaver. Gas squeezer, black leader, crack white wife beater. Appetite for the mic. Got me like John Weeder, Don Diva magazine reader. Hey, push the blue two-seater. Got more apes than zookeepers. To whom it may concern. Niggas mad cause I'm getting burned. No need to be hating. Wait your turn, fall back. It's like that, nigga, fall back. Yo, I'm not saying I'm the best, but I'm blessed, nothing less. Puffin' sets and the rest, respect like Elliot Ness. Redneck record exec, steady invest, but not enough to make me accept theft. No disrespect, but you can fetch me a cold Bex while I finish up my sets. To whom place bets, pay your debts. I'm not impressed with threats and special effects. I'm just spread up in red Corvettes, devil red, metal edge, judge dread, bloodshed, bust heads with lead. Enough said, fluff, we gonna get this bread. These niggas is booty, truly, sweet and fruity, smoke a doobie, throw on my rubies, lay down the fly dookie. You run your mouth all loosely, like John Belushi, cracking jokes, chop throats, sounding like a hoax. Listen to the shit that I wrote and let it soak. You're at the end of your ropes, I'm going for broke. You see the results when I'm done wrecking. Check his pulse, fall back. You know what I'm saying? It's like that, fall back. That, fall back. Game on boil, your plan get foiled and then spoil. Your whole body get coiled up like.
Welcome to Showface Snooze. You can call me what you want. Just don't call me woke. We live again with another one. Make sure y'all smash the like button, share the video. You already know it's a town versus everybody at all times, you dig? Stop playing. Look, got a special guest with me. Y'all don't know who this is, man. This is Pharaoh Said That. You never heard of him. One of the YouTube OGs. Got a lot of knowledge. Know a lot of stuff, do a lot of things. All the way from Chicago. Salute.
Salute to the brother. Showface News, one of my favorite channels. You already know what it is.
Yes, sir. Big time supporter for sure.
Hey, I'm going to tell y'all, call him anything, but just don't call him woke.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, yeah, we back again with another one, y'all. But yeah, so today we gonna talk about the topic that I mentioned. Did Kool Herc create hip-hop? Is that a fact? Hey, look, man, I don't know if y'all even knew there was actually a hip-hop 50 yesterday. They were celebrating 50 years of hip-hop in New York. In the RIAA, I believe that's what it's called, or the RIAA, the people who make the platinum plaques, the gold plaques, silver, all that. They gave him an award like he created hip-hop. So I'm going to show y'all in case y'all didn't see it. I'm going to show y'all what they was doing yesterday. Take a look at this, y'all.
Present you with this Cultural Impact Award. Congratulations.
Let me run that back.
We wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for you, and it is our great honor to present you with this Cultural Impact Award. Congratulations.
Thank you. I didn't say I was here away from Jamaica. They say what? Them born the people. But remember, you can't stop it. It's
What you
an
said?
story. Are we here? And 50 years later, we could Multiculture. Thank you very much.
Man, what did he say? I don't even think they know what he said. What was he talking about?
I'm not sure.
You don't know, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it.
I think he's got some type of medical conditions going.
He might, he might. Because I'm like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? Yeah, he got to. I'm gonna just play it back to see if I can make out what he's actually saying.
Say what? Them born the people. But remember, you can't stop it.
Yeah, I don't know what he talking about, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. Listen, salute to Kool Herc with Kool Herc. You did not. He did not create hip hop, Kool Herc. I don't care how many people say it. Me and her KRS One say multiple times that he was at the party that Kool Herc had back in the 70s when it was first invented and all this other stuff. Kool Herc didn't invent hip hop. Hip hop was out before Kool Herc. Kool Herc was just a DJ. So he was. If y'all know about New York, y'all know that black in New York they had the Black Spades, which was like a gang in New York back then, and they had hip hop before Kool Herc had hip hop. Now you can honestly say there's not one set person that created the genre itself, and it pretty much came about as a combination of other things. You know what I'm saying? Like for example, we know in like the 80s, a lot of rappers was rapping over like pop and R&B beats before they actually had hip hop beats. Before hip hop found an actual beat to create for the genre itself, it was pretty much people rapping over other genres beats, you know. And then we got, matter of fact, let me show y'all something classic. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. There's a lot of old school stuff, and I forget whose Instagram this is from. I really do, but I'm about to show y'all something crazy. Because you could go way back. It's not even gotta be in the 70s. Look at this, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all.
You're coming through the door. I guarantee that you never see like the likes of them again. Stomp your feet to the beat of the Dixie music men. Yeah.
Now this is 1947.
Right.
This is 1947. This is Louis Armstrong. This is Louis Armstrong. We didn't even get James Brown yet. And they say James Brown is another person who's considered like the godfather of hip hop in some aspects. It would be like, oh, the MC came from James Brown, which respectfully you could say that. You could. But listen, how long has hip hop actually been around is the next question. You know what I'm saying? How long has hip hop actually been around? And since when do people claim to come to America and create it? Makes no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the wildest part. Because remember, everybody want to be like America. People don't just people come to America for a reason. And those are nobody in America try to go outside America to be something else. You know what I'm saying? Like America is clearly like that's just the point that everybody wants to be at. America. It's influencing the entire world. America. How you got Hollywood? You know what I'm saying? Everybody wants to be that. When you get foreigners to come to America, what they want? Green cards? How do you want to get them green cards, man? You know?
That's true. You know, Kool Herc actually got the break beats from a brother by the name of John Brown. So Kool Herc seen this DJ called John Brown doing break beats, and then he went and started doing it. So it's like it's a lot of brothers not really getting their proper respect.
Exactly.
And see what they doing, they're not distinguishing hip hop from rap. And it's confusing people. See, because rap been there a long time.
Right.
But hip hop is break dancing, b-boying, DJing, graffiti, and see a lot of people are saying that they shouldn't be saying Kool Herc is the father of all of that, because he's not the father of graffiti, he's not the father of great breakdancing. And I watched the dude Crazy Legs saying that each founder should be given their respect as, whoever started breakdancing need to get that. Whoever started graffiti need to get their respect instead of giving all of that to Kool Herc, because hip hop is the 5 elements, and he didn't start all 5 elements. He's just responsible. You can give him some props for the musical aspect of it, but even that, DJ Mario, and Cool DJ D, they was already been in the park in New York way before him.
Yeah, like for real, because I think people forget that there's also other elements of hip hop outside of the beat making and the rapping. We know, you know it today is that being the most prominent and most, getting the most money from, but graffitiing, that's still a thing. People still tag stuff up to this day. It just doesn't get recognized. And breakdancing, of course, breakdancing is super. That's something that it's not done a lot. They remember they making breakdancing part of the Olympics now. You know what I'm saying? So in the Olympics, they done added breakdancing too. They didn't change the name, obviously, to try to gentrify it a little bit. But that's part of the Olympics now. That's saying something. Because hip hop has come such a long way. It's literally running the world at this point.
Exactly. Now, they promoting it based off of that flyer. They showing that flyer of his first party. Well, word on the street, that flyer is bootleg. Word, the flyer that they be showing for Kool Herc first party, they saying that's a fake flyer.
Wow.
And they saying that a lot of the brothers on that flyer say they didn't meet Kool Herc till 2 years after that.
What?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they said they didn't meet Kool Herc till 2 years after that. That them brothers didn't even know him in 1973. They didn't meet him till 1975.
So y'all becoming Egyptologists with hip hop. y'all recreating old stuff. Oh no. Yeah, we thought only the Egyptologists was the liars, man.
Yeah, because that flyer popped up later. That flyer didn't come out in 1973. That flyer came out way, way later, and people say it's been doctored.
Boy, y'all trying to do the same thing they did with the pyramids.
Basically.
It's a hip hop. It's crazy. I didn't even know that. That's insane, man. Y'all need fake flyers.
Basically. Because originally they was calling Bambaataa the father of hip hop.
Yeah, I remember that.
Then they said Bambaataa told people to call Herc the father of hip hop. And the Zulu Nation say that this is the 49th anniversary of hip hop as far as all the elements. They said 50 ain't until next year.
Oh wow.
So it's a lot of people saying a lot of stuff that's making this really not be official. They really need to go back and really do the research and come with the real history.
Yeah, because it's a lot of people creating these agendas and these narratives to support things that's just not true. For example, we know one personally, and this has already been, decoded. And I'm gonna say one right now. Now, first and foremost, let me start it off with what actually triggered all this in the first place. We're gonna start with this video right here. Busta Rhymes. We gotta start with that. Some of y'all may have seen this video before. I played it before a while back. You're gonna take a look at it.
How do you think your music has influenced the Latin music and its culture?
I think that my family is Jamaican and Latino and Jamaican are Caribbean people. With tropical people, with people that understand what that timing and that rhythm and that pocket feels like in a way unlike any other culture of people. From the bass lines to the way we choose to place our words as people of the Caribbean and of the tropics.
Where you get it from though? Where you learn how to do that?
Yeah, that's bogus because you can't say you started hip hop when you started rapping over James Brown.
Hey, brother, if it wasn't for Chuck D, you wouldn't exist. He discovered you out there.
You know, you got James Brown beats, you know, and how can you take James Brown beats and give the credit to Kool Herc when you're using James Brown and you're using James Brown's drummers? Those are James Brown drummers. Like Kool Herc is not playing those drums. Yeah, he's doing it on the turntable. Who's actually playing the drums that you dance to?
At that point, you could say DJ Khaled is, you know what I'm saying? Because he's a DJ. He's not a beat. He's a DJ, which means
so
he's
a
DJ.
lot of the history get lost because it should be noted that James Brown had 2 drummers on stage. 2 drummers playing that music. And see, that kind of stuff the kids need to know, the young people need to know. James Brown on them break beats, there's 2 drummers in James Brown band making that sound like that. So the idea that, you know, Jamaicans came and took American music and it represents Jamaican culture, that's false.
Yeah, because now you're taking credit for something you didn't make. And on top of that, remember, I don't know if you watched the BET Hip Hop Awards like in like the last decade, but a lot of the times when he was doing ciphers, a lot of those beats was James Brown beats, the Big Payback. Yeah, the same beat. That's James Brown.
Well, you know,
by itself.
Busta Rhymes bogus because when Busta Rhymes came out, he hid his Caribbean roots and he pretended he was me. Like James Brown and Biggie, and none of them used their accent. All of them portrayed themselves like Black Americans. So I mean, for Busta to be a proud Caribbean person now, that's phony because we never knew you was from the Caribbean when we seen you rapping.
They had to get cool though, because remember in America, we ain't know nothing about that. So you know, we know there was a time when being from the islands wasn't a cool thing. That had to be adapted over time. You know what I'm saying? Like even with island music getting popping, that took time to happen. It wasn't just happening overnight. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, you know, we're not respecting Busta Rhymes as a Caribbean. We respect the Super
Right.
Cat.
Exactly.
We ride with Super Cat because Super Cat didn't hide where he was from. Super Cat came straight out, was a yard man straight from the jump. So it's like give for the brothers from the Jamaican, give the Jamaicans that always acted like Jamaicans, give them the credit, not the ones that hid it.
Yeah, because you introduce yourself a certain way. Because even somebody like Busta Rhymes knew that was getting made fun of, especially if you're from New York. You know what I'm saying? It took a minute for them to get, you know, that type of respect. I have island blood myself, but I'm not from the island. I'm born in America.
Right.
I have island blood too, but again, you know, back then in them days, you know, it wasn't cool yet. It had to get cool. Like everybody wasn't playing island music at a certain point. It had to get cool. That's why, if you're from New York, especially if you're from Queens, you know, on Jamaica Avenue, that they used to have a lot of reggae things getting meshed in with current hip hop beats. So they would have these little mixtapes. You know, the people would sell on the corner. People would be blasted. Usually be somebody from the islands, and it'll be a Jamaican song, but the beat would be 50 Cent beat. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what they would do to fit in. You understand? So they was, you know, trying to push that. But over time, reggae eventually became, you know, one-on-one with hip-hop culture eventually, you know what I'm saying? When people, like, you get Super Cats and those type of collaborations going, they're like, all right, you know, then it's cool. But at the first...
That's when Heavy D and all of them let us know who they really was. But before the Jamaicans that was proud of their culture came out, like Super Cat and all of them, Heavy D and Busta Rhymes and them was hiding their culture. So they can't take credit for people like Super Cat and people like... different brothers from back in the day that really came out and showed who they was, like Shinehead. You know, people forget about Shinehead. These the brothers that get the respect as Caribbean culture to me, you know, and Shinehead is really would be the brother that gets the credit for mingling the Caribbean style with hip hop. You know, Shinehead did it straight out. He got on hip hop beats and still kept his accent. You know, and Shinehead don't get no props out here. So, you know, to try to downplay the Black American culture, that's really not cool.
Yeah, because your culture is based off following the Black American culture to begin with, off the rip.
Basically.
Because again, everybody emulates America. You're not emulating nowhere else. America is literally the forefront for all entertainment, music, movies, you name it. Everybody wants to come to America for a reason. They're not going nowhere else. They're going to America.
Basically. And see, for the Puerto Ricans, like the reason they're not getting their respect because like nobody's teaching real hip hop inspired elements. And when it comes to the breakdancing and stuff, the Puerto Ricans was heavy in the breakdance and spinning on their head and all of that. So that's why they trying to get their credit for hip hop, but what they're not doing a good job is they're not doing a good job at separating rap from hip hop. So people thinking they started rapping, but rapping go all the way back to the 40s and the 30s. And hip hop is not the music, hip hop is all the elements. So now that gets a little tricky when you start talking about hip hop. Now you're talking about graffiti, talking about breakdancing and all that. And nobody really started all 5 of those.
Yeah, it was a mix. It was a group of people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a mixture of stuff. Yeah.
It happened over time. Period.
Yeah.
Let's continue the disrespectful random Busta Rhymes.
So I think that it's just it's something you can't really define in words. It's a feeling thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you watch Latinos do the South Side of Merengue and you see Jamaican people, you know, do they shit. It's kind of like something that goes hand in hand. And, you know, it ain't a coincidence that in every urban community, the Latino and blacks is there together. That ain't no accident. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's not like you find in every urban community, you know, Middle Eastern and black or Asian and black. You know, you always see Latino and black. And I think we just so a part of each other's cultural significance, not only as tropical people, but even here in the United States.
See, they go that tropical thing.
You see what he did? He played a trick. He interchanged Caribbean, and then he started saying black.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, you know, these Puerto Ricans was always around blacks. Well, all those blacks wasn't from the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left out the cha-cha. Like my mother and father used to do the cha-cha.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been dancing like that. So he left out the black culture. We've been doing the boogie woogie. We've been throwing women over our heads for a long time before there was a bunch of migration of people from the Caribbean or Africa to this country. So he left us out, which not cool. Like he didn't mention our contribution to the art at all. He tried to make it like, oh, we got a swag nobody else got. But then he came and copied my swag.
Exactly.
No,
Dude, how you gonna steal?
Like you was trying to rap and look and talk like me, and wear big chains like me.
Exactly.
Like bro, y'all was emulating American drug dealers.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Talk about it. That's what they be forgetting. They keep forgetting that everybody now dressed like a drug dealer in Harlem in the 80s, man. Literally. The general swag of a rapper is of a drug dealer in 80s Harlem somewhere.
Come on, literally. They know they got all that swag from Jammaster Jay. Mm-hmm. Jammaster Jay, the one that taught them how to dress.
Mm-hmm.
That was the first one in rap to say, hey, let's put these hats on like that. Let's put these big chains on and let's go like that. They don't want to give Jammaster Jay his props for the dress and the culture he bought. He the one taught Run and DMC how to dress. Because Jammaster Jay was from the streets.
Listen, he was really from the streets. Because he found out later he was moving that way.
Yeah, for real.
They found out later he was moving that way. So yeah, he's definitely from the streets for sure.
So you know the problem you can see Busta Rhymes is a hater because he intentionally left us out of that conversation. And say, well, you know, we got this swag, us in the Caribbean people's like, well, what about us, bro?
Bro,
so
you
saying that y'all had all the swag and y'all knew how to dance. We was like dancing like For every year. What are you talking about?
Black folks been doing dances for ages and creating new ones every other day.
And if we all Africans, like he say, it's not going to be a lot of difference.
Yeah, just
now, one minute you're going to say we Africans, but the next minute you're going to say that the Africans in the Caribbean is different from the Africans in America. We always doing the same thing.
Basically.
Yeah, basically. You know, it's tripped out. He like, oh, we the one brought it. It's like, nah, bro. We only listen to you because you sound like us.
That's a fact. And again, they ain't know you was Jamaican till you doing no collaborations with other Jamaican artists. Now you Jamaican. Like, okay, where did this come from? We didn't know that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
You were scared.
You was ashamed of your culture.
You was ashamed of your culture. Now you're scared. Now you love your culture, but you was ashamed of it.
Yeah, you ain't.
So you don't get no respect like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh. Bro, you don't get respect like them. Because they was Jamaicans pure through and through, and they pushed Africa. So them the Caribbean people we honor, the ones that wasn't afraid to be who they are.
Mm-hmm.
Not the ones that hid it. You know, because Biggie Smalls didn't talk like his mother.
I think Biggie Smalls only did one song where he was actually saying anything in Jamaican and else, like "Stop Your Blood Clot Crying." Yeah, that's as far as it went. You know.
Yeah, they hid it. They hid it to try to be like us. So it's just crazy that he trying to act like they bought so much swag when they was emulating us. I really don't understand that.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Like, it doesn't even make sense because you could literally backtrack it. Like, you could literally go back and like, bro, you saying that, but right here, you waited till such and such a time to reveal that you was even that. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and creating division between us when he could have just named everybody and just kept it real. But if he was going to be honest, he would have gave honest to James Brown. Like, you cannot take. This is why so many hip hop artists got sued, because you cannot take no records from somebody and make a record and don't give them their credit for playing the horns or playing the drums.
Right. Exactly.
So you got to give James Brown his props. Like, how could you take James Brown and build hip hop off of James Brown and not honor James Brown?
Facts.
That's crazy.
A lot of stuff came off James Brown. I ain't gonna lie to you, a lot of samples, you know.
Yeah. And James Brown used to be rapping because he sure couldn't really sing like that.
Oh yeah, dude, he was that dancing though. That dancing was next level too.
And dancing, but he used to be talking. Papa don't take no mess.
Yeah.
He
was talking for real. That's a fact. Yeah, he was the best singer, but boy, entertainer, he got it down pat for sure.
Yeah, he had it down pat, and his band was tight. Mm-hmm. And without that tight band, we don't got them records, and they don't got them records to loop like that.
So yeah, to be real, James Brown really was an MC, man. He was yelling over that beat.
Yeah, he was an MC, for sure.
Yeah, he was young, putting the moves on him, for sure. But yeah, I gotta give respect to the real OGs, the originators of this, for real. The real originators, not these.
Yeah, if they had that thing for hip-hop and they didn't honor James Brown, they bogus.
Yeah, James Brown gotta get some type of credit. He got a lot of influence on the culture, heavy influence on the culture, man.
Yeah. Without him, you don't got no break beats.
For real. Let's see what else he was saying.
We're the multiculture, because the U.S. ain't got no culture. They shit is all our shit. A bunch of our shit is what makes the U.S. whatever you want to call it. We still don't know what that culture is for the U.S., but
that's a lot of disrespect right there. I ain't gonna lie, he said a lot right there.
Yeah, but the whole time we ain't got no culture, but he hid his accent. He lying.
He dressing like us right now.
like he lying, like dude straight up lying. Like everything he did, he was emulating us. We was never emulating him.
What kills me is the island people who was born in America acting like they're from there. Let me tell you something. To be technical, people from the islands, when they come to America, they don't technically respect people who have island blood that was born here. In their eyes, you still American. How do I know that? Well, I done been around enough of them. No. You know what I'm saying? I got plenty cousins from the islands that they know for sure that I am not.
But one thing about Buster don't represent island culture. He
That's
represents
what I'm
Black
saying.
American
That's
culture.
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, Burning Spear, they represent Jamaican culture. Super Cat, Buju Banton. These the people, Sizzler, they represent island culture. Bro, you represent Black American culture. And them brothers from the island, they would tell you go suck your mother. They'd be like, "Cho boy, shut your bomba cloud." You know, they are top boy.
That's a fact.
They wouldn't even respect him because they like, bro, you lying. You know, we started listening to Fat Domino, and we took the piano player and made reggae.
For real.
That was how reggae got started. Is Jamaicans was coming up to America working in the sugar cane, and then they was buying records up here for cheap, and they could send them to Jamaica and sell them for triple, quadruple the money. So they was buying all this Fats Domino and all this music and mailing it to Jamaica and selling it. They finally would make a lot of money selling the records down there for more money. And so then they started taking that ching 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 ching, and they just slowly changed it to chinking, to chinking, to chinking. Really, but first it was ska. Ting 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 ting. They took that from Fats Domino. So how he gonna say anything about culture when reggae was taken from Fats Domino that created ska that went into reggae? And all reggae artists know this, so he don't even know his own music culture.
Yeah, you rocking, whoever you rocking to sleep, you rocking to sleep because they don't know no better. You know what I'm saying? They don't know no better. Yeah, so he don't even know music culture. He's supposed to know music culture. Nah, he don't really know it that well. He should though. He up there. He should know.
He should know.
But they be trying to hide stuff, trying to act like they all this unintentional vulture behavior they doing. I don't even know if they realize that they coming off as vultures with it.
Yeah, he just came off negative. I don't like it because he making unnecessary.
Yeah, it's unnecessary disrespect.
Unnecessary tension between Black Americans and brothers from the Caribbean. Like, we don't need all that unnecessary tension.
Yeah, it's like you trying to say niggas is better than others. Like,
yeah, and it ain't none of us better than the other ones. Like, how I'm gonna say I'm better than Jamaicans? That sounds crazy.
It sounds the same. It don't even make any good sense.
It don't even make sense, bro. Like,
island
no black person got no more swag than another black person. Like,
they said, "Oh, my island is good. The reason that hip hop is good because of the island, and we did this." And like, man, shut up. Shut up, bro.
We all the same, so he tripping.
Yeah, he bugging. That's good.
Yeah, he tripping. Like, come on, bro.
Hold on.
See, and that make a lot of Black Americans. See, he make a lot of Black Americans start hating unnecessarily.
Yeah.
So now he gonna make a lot of Black Americans be on this anti-Jamaican stuff because of what he's saying. So this brother's like an agent or something of chaos between Black people.
Hey, some people do be unnecessarily agents of chaos though. Like they do be that. Unfortunately, those people exist. And I got some more stuff too. We're gonna get into it in a second too after this one.
It's up of all of our cultures in the urban community. You know, the Latino and the West Indian has the greatest influence, and we've always had, and we'll always will. And it's just been that way. So I've actually been influenced by the Latino community, which allows me to feel that much more comfortable.
They don't even like us, man.
Let me tell you another mistake he's making. He's confusing cities on the coast. New York is on the coast, so it has a lot of immigrant influence. What he talking about don't hold no weight in Chicago.
Facts.
Bro, Chicago all Black. We ain't have a lot of people from the Caribbean or nowhere here. So you ain't influenced nothing in the rack, bro. Nothing. What did they influence in Chicago? So what he's doing, he's acting like New York represents all Black folks, but it don't. As you travel around, Black folks got like different influences depending on where they at. On the West Coast, they by Mexico, they by the South Pacific. In They got more immigrants than Chicago. So yeah, it's going to influence New York a little bit, but you can't speak for black people in general. Like, bro.
That's why people need to travel more. Because listen, I've been in a lot of places. I've been in Texas. Texas is baby Mexico. You understand? Yeah. For real.
Ain't no Caribbean. Wasn't no Caribbean influence in Chicago, and Chicago is the blackest city in America as far as just straight black culture.
Oh yeah.
That's all we got. Yeah, we're not influenced. We're not. So he influenced. How you influence us, bro? We was wearing Bally's. We was wearing Bally's already. You came up here and found out about Bally's and started shopping at stores we've been shopping at. But whatever.
Yeah, you tripping, man. That's why it's good to travel, so you get to learn more.
Yeah, he tripping.
I'm from New York, born and raised. Hey, everywhere is not New York. You better understand that. I mean, all over.
He's getting New York mixed up with black people all over the country.
Yeah, it's not the same, though.
He's misspoken, you know?
It's not the same. Trust me.
Yeah, it's not. It ain't that many.
Putting my West Indies.
Yeah, it wasn't that.
Influencing my music because they made me feel that much more proud to be like, yeah, man, me's a Jamaican, and I say it. But I'm just saying, a lot of the times, it ain't until you're made to feel comfortable.
Oh, that's the truth. Oh, some truth spill, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's not till you made to feel comfortable. Oh, now the truth comes out. That's facts. Oh, well, it's not till you made to feel comfortable. Yeah, because you had to be made to feel comfortable, bro.
And he actually revealing what messed up reggae music. What he said ruined reggae because Rastas was teaching that all black people was Africans.
Facts.
And when the Jamaicans came, instead of acting like Africans, they kept acting like Jamaicans. So how you gonna come here and tell me we are Africans, but then you don't want to be an African, you want to be a Jamaican?
Yeah, you honestly got like 2 to 3 different type of Jamaicans. Yeah. You got the Jamaicans that want that unity with everybody. That's right. That's the Rastafarians. Then you got the Jamaicans that have been, influenced by the colorists and other foolish belief systems, especially by like grandparents and whoever else. And they like, yeah, I'm Jamaican this, and they like to separate themselves from everybody else. I think they're better than other people,
Right. And that ruined reggae. That ruined the Rasta movement because younger Rastas came in with that mentality. Me's a yard man, me's a yard man, me's a yard man. It's like, well, bro, you want me to give up America to go to Africa, but you don't want to give up Jamaica. So since you're gonna hold on to Jamaica, let me hold on to Chicago.
You did?
So that he just busted, making himself look very unintelligent, to be honest with you.
Yeah, he was just talking, but I'm glad he said that you got to be made to feel comfortable. Glad you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Glad you said, because he wasn't that from the jump. He was a New Yorker, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, okay. Let's keep it going.
Giving it to the people who are what you really are, what your influences are, or your upbringing in the house, that you do it. So, being that I've been made to feel comfortable doing it, I think I also got to acknowledge and credit the Latinos for their influence on me, just the same way that I've been able to take that influence and give it back to the music. But a lot of that,
I want to know what the Latinos influence. Salute to them and all that for whatever they did, and that's cool. What did they actually do? Was the question.
Well, basically, what he's doing is trying to hate on Black Americans.
Yeah, he's giving all these credit to them for what they did.
He's going out his way to take credit from Black Americans.
Trying to tap dancing.
He's trying to disrespect us. That's how we look at it. Like,
you didn't put some tap shoes on them clocks you got on. That's what you did, brother.
Trying to disrespect us. Like, we not from here, so we got to stick together because we Jamaicans and Puerto Ricans like that. Bro,
they don't even like us like that, bro. You kissing their ass for what? They do not like us, bro. A majority of them don't rock with us. And look, I know a lot of people. I know plenty of Hispanics that I'm cool with, like that. But the majority of them do not give. They don't care less what happened to us.
Everything he said could have been legitimate if he would have included Black Americans.
But
the fact that he excluded Black Americans completely shows that he's a liar and he's full of it.
True. It's just fact, and I don't even think he realized it too. It's just subconscious. You know what I'm saying?
And we never should have supported his music. And you know, I'm going to see 50 Cent when he come here, and I'm gonna be sure to boo his ass when he come out.
You booing 50? Oh no, you booing Buster when he?
I'm booing Buster. I mess with 50 100. I mess with 50. That's my man. But I'm booing Buster because he on that tour.
Oh yeah, you go after
I mess with 50. That's one of my favorite rappers.
Definitely, for sure. But yeah, 50 also Jamaican, but you never heard him disrespect the black culture.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't got no hate for Jamaicans or whoever. Right. Buster's the one adding that unnecessary fuel to the fire to make unnecessary hate for no reason.
I've never seen Fifth ever discredit any black culture at all. To be honest with you, he showed a lot of respect. If anything, I mean, you know, he even gave credit to the real 50 Cent page. Because you know the original 50 Cent from the 80s, that 50 Cent, is he got his name. But
I mean, why would you? That's like me getting on the dub plate and rapping on it, and then not giving Jamaicans no credit.
Yeah, that's so you got to give the respect because he at least gave the credit to the original 50 Cent.
How I'm gonna get on the dub plate, start an art form, and don't give Jamaicans no credit? That sounds crazy. That's crazy.
You got to do something. You gotta give back or something just because you know you ate off the name, you got popular off the name. You know, so you're gonna give credit to the original 50. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
you gotta respect that for sure.
It just has to do with just being around it, growing up a part of it, and you know, just seeing that it worked. When I was able to do the shit and incorporated it little by little, and seeing the shit work, I was like, man, this shit is not gonna ever stop happening with me because it's an advantage that I have being of the Caribbean descent.
That advantage is crazy, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Like you got super oxtail jerk chicken power. Like, come on, bro. You feel me?
I understand what he was saying because as a black Americans, I've hung around a lot of Jamaicans. And when I was in the county jail for a while, I used to set up dudes for rap battles. And after I would rap for a little while, I would start doing Jamaican style, and I would win all the battles, right? So I used to cheat because I used to say, "Boy, I start rapping like that, and I would always win the battle." So I
was saying he was saying anything and win.
yeah. So he you know, I understand what he's trying to say, but the fact that he's going out of his way, he's saying he won't admit that I acted like a black American, and I slowly started.
Exactly.
I started to show that I was Caribbean. He wants to ignore the fact that what was you doing before you got comfortable, bro?
Yeah, he's admitting that he had to get comfortable too. But at the same time, had there not been those super cats and people collaborating with hip hop through reggae, would you have ever came out ever?
No. So how can he take credit for them? He's not as good as Super Cat. He's not a strong Jamaican like Super Cat. And who was you before you let us know you're Jamaican? You was me, bro.
Exactly. You was identifying as an African American.
Why can't you say I was acting like a black American until I found out I can show my Caribbean culture?
Which would be real to say. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Nah, we about to take this to the grave. Like, nope, I came out that way. Like, yeah, all right, sure you did, bro. Sure you did.
Being of the tropical upbringing, being from that environment, I can use that to my advantage. A lot of rap motherfuckers and American artists, they can't use that. And I can do what they doing as an American, but I also got this little secret weapon that I'm gonna pull out the stash every now and then, and I'm gonna use it to my advantage. So, you know, I think that's really what it is, and so far, it's been magical results for me.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And that was that.
That was disgusting.
Terrible.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
But Moon Rumors is this, and this is what I don't get. Before we get to that other video, because I'm gonna show that video too. Fat Joe's at the Hip Hop 50 show going on out like. He's one of those. I like when we talk about hip hop, the first person we mention is Fat Joe. Like, the first person we gonna mention is who? Who we mentioning? Fat Joe for what? What am I mentioning Joe for? What did he do? Outside of him being someone who was helping find artists, like and putting them on. That's cool, but what that got to do with you in hip hop culture, like as far as being like a big name rapper? Fat Joe is not nobody you mentioned.
Fat Joe is another one that he wouldn't have been. We never would have bought Fat Joe if he wasn't around digging in the Craze crew.
That's a fact.
You got to flow, Joe. You got to.
Right.
He had a whole bunch of black dudes with him, with an army fatigue jacket on. And that's why we bought into him, because we see them in the hood with the brothers.
Is it wrong to say that Fat Joe popped the same way because of how Eminem popped? Because he had that black presence around him that solidified him to the last.
But another thing is, a lot of people pop because the art firm was new, so they was letting anybody get on. Back when rap first got out there, anybody could get on. I mean, anybody. So he just basically got lucky because it was early and they was just putting anybody on Rap City or Yo MTV Rap at that time.
And he kind of like a leech in a way, because he got his name from other people. Like, he didn't see it solo. He had to literally look at all of his hits. His hits is not solo hits. We talk about Twins from 98 with that's a big pun. If it wasn't for pun, you wouldn't have popped. Lean Back, who you got up on there? Remy Ma's on there, right?
Right.
Like, come on, bro. You don't even have solo records yourself that they like. Even All the Way Up is a collaboration. That's not just you on the record. So when we talk about Fat Joe hits, what solo hits does he have that's ever went anywhere? It's always a collaboration. You are not.
He surrounded himself with a whole bunch of black dudes and did his video in the hood, and so we rocked with it. And that's how he got on. He didn't have. If he would have had a whole bunch of Hispanics around him, he wouldn't have went nowhere.
Hey, if we being real, he could be the original 6ix9ine, just minus the snitching. If you want to keep it 1,000,
hey, you know,
we could do some math and say, well, technically you the original 6ix9ine, because 6ix9ine a bunch of New York bloods around him. and went somewhere, you understand? And without that gang image and gimmick, he probably wouldn't have went as far as he did in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I'm just saying.
Fat Joe, you know, he got on by hanging out with blacks.
Yeah, it's that. Because remember, we the culture at the end of the day. Like, you got to go through us. Like, Eminem wasn't gonna pop it out Dre. Period.
Yeah. He made it, but Nice and Smooth was the ones that should have made it.
Yeah, Nice and Smooth was fire.
They was fire.
I wonder where they at these days.
They was fire.
But I'm gonna play y'all this video right here. This is with Grandmaster Cash. And if you're from New York, a lot of the old heads from the original days, they say Grandmaster Cash one of the goats. I'm gonna be real. I'm not old enough to call that man a goat, because I don't know. I wasn't around, man.
Tennessee Rippin', I'm back again with another video. Today we got a clip from Grandmaster Cash speaking out and defending Fat Joe after Fat Joe came out and claimed that Latinos and blacks created hip-hop. Of course, since making that statement, social media has been roasting Fat Joe like crazy, so y'all know how we do, man. Let's check out this clip and hear what Grandmaster Cash has to say. Let me know your thoughts and concerns down in the section below. And yeah, let's get right into it.
They've been like lately talking about Latinos wasn't in rap and this and this. These guys are delusional. We're from the Bronx, New York. It happens. And so when hip hop started, it's Latino and black, half and half. But they going at me because I'm like the only Spanish dude, like really with a big voice. And Latinos wasn't there. You was invited. You are a specimen. I don't know what is up with these people.
These people's crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
These people is crazy too. I ain't gonna.
And he said they helped start it, but he said he the only one.
No, you not.
Why you the only one?
Bro, look. First of all, look at Kid Capri. Like, we got to go back. You got to go back. Kid Capri, bro. You know what I'm saying? What we really doing here? Man? Kid Capri was out before you, bro. You tripping. Jamaicans never claim hip hop, even now outside the internet. He the only one saying that. It's obviously a method. I mean, I would disagree, because a lot of this drill music, especially New York drill, has a lot of island influence. But we're gonna get into that later. But right now we're gonna focus on this. But I will talk about it. That's like Shaggy claiming to be Jamaican when he's from North Carolina. All right, let's keep it going.
Don't know their facts.
Peace. It's your boy, Grandmaster Cash. Now, I've recently heard some controversy going around on Twitter about a comment I made in a Vlad interview a few years back. Well, let me clear some shit up for you right about now. Some of the first Latinos in hip-hop were down with me. Disco Wiz, Charlie Chase, Joe Conzo, the man who took hip-hop's baby pictures, Prince Whipper Whip, okay? All Latinos, all part of my crew. Okay, so there's no way that I could talk about there not being a Latino presence in the culture of hip-hop. Now, I've stuck my foot in my mouth a couple of times on Vlad interviews, and they probably caught an off, you know what I mean, comment or something like that. But let me clear that up. For all my brothers, my Latino brothers and sisters in hip-hop, I've been an advocate since day one. So knock the bullshit off. Peace.
But yeah, people sometimes, I did a TikTok video around that same time, where I had audio of somebody else saying, yeah, you know, Puerto Ricans and them was in the culture, but it was only like a few of them, and they were just hanging around. But the other Puerto Ricans, they would actually disrespect them from hanging with the black people back then. There wasn't no black and brown unity in no Bronx, New York back then. That wasn't even a thing. They ain't even joined in until hip hop actually got popping. So you go towards like the 80s, you get more Hispanics that started to rock with it, but it wasn't a lot of them. It was only quite a few of them. It wasn't a lot. Because again, their culture, they coming from the islands, they have colorism culture. You know what I'm saying? I go for those islands. You have that.
That's a bunch of confusion, as I said before, because it was a while before they put all 5 elements together. So now these 5 elements was not originally together. So then, yeah, you had Latinos dancing a certain type of way to the music, which you would call breakdancing, but that was separate from what the blacks was doing. Blacks been rapping from way back. So what they doing is when they put it all together as hip hop, it becomes confusing because, yeah, Latinos was doing graffiti. So if you add graffiti, you add dancing, you have to say, yeah, Latinos helped start hip hop as far as all 5 elements. So they are interchanging rap from hip hop. See, rap is Black American. Hip hop is a little multicultural because anybody could do graffiti. White dudes could be doing graffiti. Anybody could be breakdancing. So that's how they plan on it, because of some blacks don't understand what they mean when they say hip hop. They're not talking about the music. See, they talking about graffiti, breakdancing, and all that, tagging, all that, which Latinos was doing that. But they wasn't doing it with us.
Exactly.
They were doing it separate from us. And then when you decided to make up hip hop and put the 5 elements together, now you're trying to say they helped start hip hop. No, they helped start graffiti. They helped start some of the elements. And people thinking like, well, I don't remember no Latinos rapping and all that. So what are you talking about? So that's where the confusion is coming in at.
Now watch this. It's another Fat Joe interview. It's a little interview with Fat Joe. And look what the nonsense he starts saying here. You'll take a look at that real quick.
Music, Spanish drums, all the music is African music. So, you know, you getting on the Afro beat now. I've been in Africa. They've been doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? It ain't new. All the music is African. You know what I'm saying? But you right. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even in Puerto Rico, when you go to Caribbean, like let's speak about Latinos not being black. Latinos are black. In Cuba at one time, there was 8 million Cubans. 5 million, unfortunately, were slaves. 3 million were actual Cubans. And they integrated and had babies. Same thing with Puerto Rico when you go to Loíza. And when you talk about Santeria, that came from the motherland, Africa. You know, sometimes Latinos might even identify themselves with African and black culture more than black people. This ain't...
What?
Well, there we go again. You speak Spanish, bro. Spain is European. Spain is not an African language, bro. So why do y'all speak Spanish? Because you're mixed with the conquistadors. So don't try to pretend you're just totally mixed with African. You're mixed with with Spanish invaders. That's why you speak Spanish, bro. If you was African, you'd be speaking African language or something, bro. So yeah, some Hispanics are African, but all Hispanics are the descendants of being conquered by the Spanish. So how do you leave the Spanish out and you speak Spanish, bro? Bro,
it'd be 1,000%. Not only is he Spanish, but he mostly Cuban. He ain't even that much Puerto Rican, to be completely fair. And people been saying that for years. Like, bro, mostly Cuban. He's not that Puerto Rican.
Yeah, and he's Cuban. He's Cuban and Spanish.
Exactly.
He's Spain. He's European and Cuban. Yeah. He's not a pure Aztec or a pure Inca or Mayan or nothing like that. He's the descendants of the Spanish conquerors.
Do you remember though when he said he wasn't black though? You remember that, right? When the police shooting happened, what happened? He said what? He said, well, I ain't black. But now you talk about hip hop, oh, I'm black. You feel what I'm saying? Like, you picking and choosing when it's convenient.
Yeah.
You're opportunist. So you're an opportunist. You one of them people like, okay, I'm going to choose to be black when I want to. But when it comes to that, oh, yeah, I'm not black though.
And you're going to overlook you speak Spanish, and Spain is in Europe, bro. So how did you learn Spanish?
Man, if you look at pictures of Fat Joe way back when, it all makes sense, man. That's all I can tell you. It all makes sense, but let's keep it going.
Ain't no crazy thing. Fat Joe ain't on crack. He know what he talking about. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm telling you the truth.
Well, the heritage also, too, because, you know, mainland American slavery is different than Caribbean plantation slavery because culture was able to stay intact. When you got to mainland America, they was killing black folks for trying to celebrate their spirituality.
They was killing black folks
and keep that and stripped all of that. So when you get to the Caribbean and you see that connection back to Africa, very strong in the people. It's very strong in the people.
When you go to Cuba too, when they break down some of the santos, they'll also tell you this is the real names of the santos and this is the name we use when we were trying to hide it.
Yo,
to protect
that's
it.
the illest story. Yo, so when David O and them cats come over from Africa and I start telling them about Europe, because they're Yoruba. They're Yoruba from the original tribe in Africa. And I'm like, yo, you know when you go to Brazil and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you don't know that Yoruban culture exists in the islands? They don't even know that it's still maintained.
Brazil
that fabric, yo, trip on this.
It's from Portuguese.
Yo.
So the Portuguese colonized Brazil.
Yeah.
So that's why you got Brazil is pretty much Africa. Yeah. And they speak Portuguese. And the same thing in Angola.
But I'm telling you, they don't even know that was maintained. That's not commonly shared. That between Yoruban people in Africa, that in the Caribbean and the colonies of America, that stayed intact. It blows their mind.
Yeah, it's ill, man, and they celebrate it to the fullest, man. They celebrate it out there like crazy. But yeah, I get it.
Fat Joe, new album, Family Ties, great time.
Yeah. Anyway.
None of these people said none of that when they were selling us their damn records.
I swear they wasn't.
Selling them records, you should have told us that. We wouldn't have bought your shit.
Man.
We wouldn't have bought none of that stuff. If they would have showed that type of way to leave us out of the culture, but at the time they were selling records, oh, they loved us. Oh, they was black as they could be. Busta Rhymes never told us none of that. Or we wouldn't have bought his records. He waited until he got famous. Now all of a sudden, we's taking swag from him. So that's where the disrespect comes in.
All of a sudden this year, since it's Hip Hop 50, everybody want to act like they was there now. All of a sudden, oh, I was there too. Yeah, like, if you don't shut up, bro. Like, what are you talking about, bro? You wasn't even around. All of a sudden, you got something to say. Where you come from, bro? Where you come from, man?
Without giving no respect to James Brown.
I would be honest with you. The only time I heard James Brown get any credibility was when they did. I think VH1 had did some top 10, top 50 type deal way back when. Not way back when, but like I'm gonna say like 2008, 2007, around that time. Like yeah, James Brown, the original MC. I swear that's the only time I seen James Brown get any real credit for hip hop. To be honest with you.
Here for Black Americans in my generation, the first rap song we heard was "Ball of Confusion" by the Temptations. Now, my mother and my father, they had a different record. But for us, the first rap record we ever heard in 1970, when I was 12 years old, was the Temptations' Ball of Confusion. They wasn't singing, they was rapping. And there's even a part where he say, rap on, brother, rap on, right on the record. And he was rapping the whole song. The only person talking about love, my brother, is the preacher. And it seems nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. I rap.
They been doing rap for a minute. See, they been doing rap for a minute. They got this meme that was going around like probably some months ago where the rapper Little Baby had a lookalike dude from back in like the 50s or something, and dude was rapping. He had the piano playing, and dude was really rapping. You know what I'm saying? So they been doing that for rap is not new. Like it's been around for years, ages.
Yeah, my beef is that they didn't give James Brown no props. It's like Kool Herc took James Brown and chopped up his beats. How you not honor the man? Yeah, you had turntables, but who record did you have? What good is turntables without a record? And how you don't honor the man who record?
And you're not the first DJ neither.
Yeah, but James Brown don't get enough props. James Brown should really get high props, because James Brown was one of the major artists in music that actually had those break beats. He was the one that would break it down and say, drummer, give me some. Without that, give that man his props and his drummers.
James Brown was like Birdman and all these people who be on their honest record before they ever existed. If you're going to keep it 1,000, man. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be real, that's who he was, man. They ain't around to say the same lyric. They had that hook going, and honestly, during the SoundCloud era, if any of y'all familiar, it had an era where people would repeat the hook and it just be the beat playing. They just repeat the hook. Some James Brown used to do way back when. You know what I'm saying? They said James Brown's the most sampled in hip. He is. He is. Look how many beats was made from his songs, dog.
And they used a lot of George Clinton. But George Clinton's whole band was James Brown band. Bootsy, Maceo, Fred Wesley, they was all from James Brown's band.
You can't forget Parliament Funkadelic. Can't forget that.
All of them was James Brown people that was in Parliament Funkadelic, was his whole band.
Mm-hmm.
Bootsy was James Brown's bass player.
Real talk. It's real talk. Let me see whose video this is. I'm about to play this. I don't even know what this is. They've been doing rap forever, man. This is before the 70s.
Yeah, I was 10 years old when that was out. I remember watching that on Ed Sullivan.
Crazy, right? But salute to this is TL Cross, because he posts a lot of hip hop stuff from that predates.
TL Cross is really the #1 hip hop historian out here. Y'all need to check him out. He deep.
I was just on his page looking like, oh, he got some jewels up here. He really got some old school stuff that people do not got. So rapping around before people. It predates the time that people think it been out rapping out for a minute. It's been around. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah, man. They been rapping forever. Let's keep it a G. They ain't rapping just started in the 70s. Yeah, people rapping in like the 40s and 30s. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So it predates what people are saying is the start of hip hop, with the years that it started. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. It goes way back, and it only blew up when the DJs like myself, when they started expanding the records and making the records play long and putting instrumentals on there. Then we start blending, and we start blending the records. So they started making these long disco 45s, disco 33s that would be 11 minutes, 7 minutes long. And that's how they got the instrumental for Good Times to make this album or this Rapper's Delight. This beat comes from Chic, Good Times. This is the Good Times beat. And then they start rapping on it, Good Times, and they took that and then they rapped on it. So they got to give credit to the DJs that start doing the blending, because records used to only be 2 minutes long. But as time went, they started making these records with long instrumental parts on it. And that's what allowed them to rap on it. And in Jamaica, they started making records with the dub on it, where you drop the voice dub-wise. And that's how they started toasting. So in both cultures, we was doing the same thing, just different.
That's a fact. It's a fact. Like, people got to know where it's coming from. Like, you just putting people's names up there who was pretty much like the aftermath of the original thing, but you're not putting the original thing out there. Like, okay, well, who started that? You know what I'm saying?
Rap. See, somebody need to find out who started rap instead of hip hop, because like I said, hip hop is 5 elements. But there's nobody talking about rap, because rap gonna go way back to the 40s, probably the 30s, 20s.
Yeah, you got a lot of people who's rapping, man. Don't forget, even rock and roll was created by a black woman. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Crazy enough. I seen that video too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But yeah, so another thing is, right now, in New York, what's a real big thing is New York drill. Now, New York drill was actually created by a few people who have like island backgrounds, right?
Right.
And the craziest thing that happened recently this year, a few months back, was Bobby Shmurda talking about he don't listen to rap no more. I'm gonna let y'all take it out. He got Jamaican roots, by the way. Watch the similarities.
Wow.
It's about to pop up.
Styles is in danger, is very detrimental. You know what I'm saying? It's very dangerous to the communities that these little kids think that is going on, that you did not even live. And it's supposed to be changing the kids, like the raps, but like I think rap's supposed to be telling motherfuckers to go from negative to positive, coming from poverty to going to riches and stuff like that, and how to stay in that and how to change. That's the shit I want to hear. I want to hear about living life. You want to hear some blood clot reggae? I think I'm gonna listen to reggae. I think I like that. So that's why I don't listen to rap, for real.
But this is from the guy who is literally one of the almost one of the founders and the first New York drill rapper to blow up off making drill music. You literally made music about smoking somebody, got the RICO indictment. You were the first New York drill rapper to really go global. After that, we had quite a few other people, but when it comes to New York drill music, Bobby Shmurda is one of those people that you mentioned, because he was the first one to pop off of New York drill.
Right.
Now, drill music come from Chicago, as you know. That's where it started at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, literally. Like,
from Pac-Man. It come from Pac-Man, and King Louie started it.
Mm-hmm. But then Chief Keef obviously was the person who benefited the most.
He blew it up because they were smart enough to take their music and post it on YouTube for anybody who knew YouTube was blowing up. So even all us content creators, we owe a salute to Chief Keef, because he's the one like, oh, you can go directly to YouTube? Oh, wow.
Yeah, so Chief Keef is, he's a major influence. And when he kind of came out, like really blew up in New York, there was a huge shift in the streets, because everybody's clothes start changing. You know what I'm saying? They started dressing like Keef, and all they was bumping was Keef. So it was like Sosa was the king of New York, almost. I'm not gonna lie to you. And then shortly after, I'll give it like another 2 years, 2013, 2012, we started hearing New Yorkers be on a New York drill. I'm like, what? It was confusing at first, because I'm like, what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? But now it's grown into something different. There's a lot more island people that are doing New York drill, and it's weird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He said, what OG know about Sosa? OG's from Chicago.
As a matter of fact, I lived in O Block. So I was there. Sosa my daughter went to school with a Chief Keef's little sister, and he used to pick his sister up from school with my daughter. So yeah, I lived in O Block, 6420 apartment 2A. I'm original dreadhead savage on my soul.
You heard him? When Solis said, did Pharaoh, Reams, and Wookie let you borrow that? Whoa, haters. Okay. Okay.
He didn't like my shirt and tie. I feel him. He said I got a suit on, so he kind of slow. This is just a shirt and tie. It's just a shirt and tie.
He talking about me. He talking about me.
It's not a suit. It's a shirt
he just talking about me. That's all.
Well, I mean, you look fine to me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, haters gonna hate. You gotta let them hate. It is what it is, man.
But yeah, Chief Keef and them, I'm the first person they seen with dreadlocks. They're Chief and all them. I was the only person at O Block with dreads in 1999.
That's what's up. But yeah, man. But back to Bobby Shmurda. Like, yeah, Bobby Shmurda pretty much act like he got resentment for rap. Say, nope, I'm listening to reggae now. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, didn't you blow up off rap? You understand what I'm saying? Didn't you blow up off rap? You got to make it make sense, though. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what. He must be going through something.
Well, I'll tell you what it is, though, right? So he had came out of jail, and his music was terrible. It still is terrible to this day. Like, he just came out, and it was just like, yeah, musically, it's just not it. So
he fell off a little bit.
Not even a lot. They just making fun of him because he was doing a lot of weird he was doing a lot of weird dances and stuff, and people was like, yeah, bro, I don't know about you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what ended up happening.
That's why I don't listen to rap. Oh, for real, I don't listen to rap. I don't know nothing about rappers. I don't ask Luke.
I respect that.
I don't know nothing about no rappers. Only time I listen to rap is when I'm in the club. I just dance to anything. I don't know who part. Listen, a nigga could have told me "fuck me" and his song would be on. I don't even know what he playing.
Yeah, so I think he mad because musically, like, people ain't really rocking with him no more. Like, and I get it. I mean, his music ain't good, man. It's not good, but at the end of the day, you like, oh yeah, I'm going back on my reggae now. Like, so what, you got resentment for black culture now because you mad they not rocking with you no more?
Yeah, kind of just mismanagement. When he came out of jail, he should have came with some hardcore jailhouse stuff. He would have did good. He tried to come out and do some stuff he did before he went to jail, and that wasn't going to work.
It's not, he kind of stopped doing what he was doing. And at the same time, he didn't even change his sound. It was just some regular basic stuff. And he's not really talking about nothing violent anymore neither. It's just extra stuff. People just like, yeah, bro, we not feeling it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's crazy though. But yeah, I mean, yeah, a lot of listen, they be switching sides on us, man. They be switching sides. They pick one side. As soon as it's not an advantage, like, yeah, I'm back on my reggae now. I'm done with y'all Americans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, one thing you never do make statements that gonna come back and hurt you and hurt your old music. So basically he said don't buy his old music. So see, he really ain't got no business skills. Like, some things is better not said. He could have just came out on a dance hall beat and just made his money. He didn't have to say anything. Like, he's talking himself out of his bread.
Right, for sure. Crazy, man. And then after this, so Fat Joe was on the stage for the Hip Hop 50 yesterday, and he was doing like the absolute most. And this is what I can't stand, man. Why do they act like they was like really?
I'll be right back.
Why? Yeah, before we even get to that, and make sure y'all smashing the like button and share the video, man. We pretty much talking about, Kool Herc not actually being the the creator of hip hop, man, because he's not the creator of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? And even last year, I did a live where we was talking about, how Kool Herc did not create, hip hop. He never created hip hop. Kool Herc was not the creator of hip hop. He was somebody who profited, and he did a known party where there was hip hop done, but he is not the creator of hip hop. Never has, never will be. And the people who create, the platinum plaques, the RIAA or the RAII, however you spell it, the people who give out those platinum plaques, those gold plaques and silver plaques, they actually gave him, was that a humanitarian award they gave him yesterday? Something like that. They gave him the award and said, yeah, if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't be here today, which is false. Because, with or without Kool Herc, you would still have hip hop today. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much what we've been talking about this entire time. If you missed anything, you know, you can catch that replay. You dig? However, back to Fat Joe, man. Fat Joe was showing out yesterday, man. I don't know what he got going on. The man, Joe got at least be 53 years old. I'm not gonna lie to you. Joe is at least 50 something years old, man. You dig? But let's check this out. Look at your boy, man. Bro had his shirt off and all that with his basket, bro. This guy is fit. When I tell you this man is 50 something years old, bro. 50 something. Jelloing around the stage. You dig? Jelloing around the stage. I don't know, man. Fat Joe be acting like he the head of something in hip hop. He acts like, I don't know why. I get it. You were a bunch of rappers who were successful, but you were not as successful as them. Like when we talk about top 50s, yeah, you was around Big L, Big Pun, all these people, right? Those people are solidified in stone as some of the greatest to ever touch the mic or whatever. You, sir, not even in the thought process. And they actually they just did a hip hop top 50. Where was Fat Joe ranked in that top 50? I'm sure he was on it because he had to be on it just because. You know what I'm saying?
Fat Joe kind of ruined his career by not taking care of Big Pun's family. See, that's where he went left. He should have took care of Big Pun's family. He should have put Pun's son on right away.
He could have did it.
Yeah, and then he shouldn't have called them sisters, all that stuff on the verses. See, he just...
I remember that. Yeah. That was nasty, too. Like, and when it happened, I made note of that. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, so...
He was mad because he knew he was losing. I'm like, Joe.
Yeah, but now he's done. You know, he's done.
Bro, he was so... Look, let me tell you something. Ja Rule outclassed him so terribly in that verse. Like, that was an onslaught verse. Like, you talk about a lot of verses where people got walked on. Like, Rick Ross versus 2 Chainz. That was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then there's Ja Rule versus Fat Joe, the one they don't talk about with Fat Joe.
The way Dipset got crunched.
Oh, yeah, Dipset got walked on bad. And that's because they didn't want to really be there, man. The vibe was off with them anyway, bad chemistry and stuff.
You could tell Cam and Jimmy wasn't getting along. They
still don't get along. And Cameron wasn't even going to come to the stage, he said. Like, he was literally about to walk away. He wasn't even going to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And, you know, him and Styles P had got into it, too, during that verses as well.
Yeah, and then they didn't rehearse. And you could tell Dipset had rehearsed. I mean, they were sharp.
Kiss and them probably ain't even rehearsing either. They probably used to being around each other because remember, the Locks, they never had any friction as far as we could see in their group. Like, they
but the way Styles P was doing them ad libs.
Yeah, they got that kind of chemistry too, because you got to remember, like, Dipset had broke up multiple times too. You know what I'm saying? They don't really have that connection versus SP in them, you know. And with the Locks, they always together. You don't really see any rift in that group. But Dipset has many rifts in their group, you know.
Yeah, so right.
Their chemistry is off. There was no way they was gonna beat them at all. Right, I mean, considering Big L's style was stolen. Nah, that's not true. He said he should have never been on stage with Ja. He wasn't even qualified. I agree. Because Ja outclassed him bad. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I'm not the biggest Ja Rule fan, but I know Ja Rule got hits. You know what I'm saying? He got hits. Like, so we go back to that era, Ja's completely thrashing Fat Joe, everything. You know what I'm saying? And Fat Joe was so mad when he did that performance with Lil Mo and them. He was so mad. It was a good performance too, real good. Fat Joe said them dusty beats, bro. He was mad, bro.
Yeah, he blew his whole reputation. He don't got no respect out here no more.
Hey, his true colors that came out. I'm like, damn, that's some super disrespectful.
Well, he wouldn't have never said that about Angie Martinez or them Latino women. He wouldn't have said that. So, you know, we wasn't feeling that.
Yeah, back then I even did a video about it. Like, yeah, he tripping. Like, people wasn't feeling that. Like, whoa. This is what happens when you be letting people in the culture get too comfy, bro. They show their true colors. Like, okay, 1 minute you want to rock with us, the next minute you don't want to rock with us. The next minute something happens in the culture, like somebody getting gunned down by police, you don't want to rock with us, and now you're not black. The next minute you are black. You go to hip hop 50, we all brothers now, right? Until something happened. You did?
Right.
So you picking and choosing when it's like hip hop opportunist at this point. It's real vulture behavior, you know.
Well, Black Americans started rap music. For Monique want to know who started rap. Black Americans started rap. And the reason there's some confusion because hip hop is not rap. And see, for people, when they say hip hop, even a lot of rappers don't know what they mean when they say hip hop. Hip hop is 5 elements. And so some people don't agree with giving Kool Herc the father of hip hop. They feel like everybody should get their respect in each element. There should be a father of graffiti, a father of breakdancing, a father of MCing, like that, each one, a father of turntablism. So that's why there's a lot of confusion because they're interchanging rap with hip hop and hip hop with rap, and it's just get confusing. People don't, how do we know what the hell y'all talking about? Like they're not teaching the people the difference between rap and hip hop. Black folks, Black Americans been rapping. But we ain't been doing graffiti like that. We ain't been tagging like that. Tagging is a whole nother thing. The tagging come from New York. Nobody was tagging trains,
Yeah, they ain't tagged trains in God knows when. Last time
it was Hispanics, blacks, and whites doing that tagging. Yeah. That was based on whoever was an artist.
They used to have competitions and everything for that.
Yeah, that was based on who was an artist. So that didn't really have no race involved in it. That had something to do with did you like to spray paint? That's a whole nother thing. And then when it comes to breakdancing, shoot, you know them Hispanics were spinning on them cardboards. I'm sure they was good at that because even the way they be hopping around, you could tell they come from like South and Central America. The way they hop before they start spinning, you can tell that's like that capoeira.
Right. Exactly.
And so it's like it's getting confused, and then we being left out when we started the rap part of it. Black Americans started the rap part of it because it go all the way back to Gil Scott-Heron with the poets and last poets. So we've been putting words on music for back when my parents' era.
Right.
So that's where the confusion is coming in. They're not clarifying rap and hip hop.
Right.
Now they got to clarify that.
Crazy. Yeah, man. The culture all mixed up now because again, you got a lot of people trying to profit right now, and they try to claim that Kool Herc was clearly the one who started it, which is not true. Even KRS-One says that, and KRS-One is wrong. KRS-One take the hip hop thing to another level, bro. He got a whole temple of hip hop cult, bro. Like, it ain't really to take nothing away from KRS-One, but KRS-One be tripping, man.
Yeah, KRS-One, I see what he's trying to do, but like they say, Kool Herc got the breaking the beats, the beat breaking. He got that from John Brown. So that's where he got the break beats from, John Brown. And there was a lot of people, and they used to call Bambaataa the father of hip hop. And
that's also they call being the father.
Yeah, many people give credit to starting hip hop to the Zulu Nation because it said that they was the ones that wanted to start the gang violence. People forget that a lot of these parties were done to cut down the gang violence with the black spades and all of that. So a lot of this was to get the youth something to do so that they wouldn't just be out with the violence. So, they're not really honoring because according to them brothers, it's only 49 years old, according to the Zulu Nation.
Yeah, Blank Spades was also involved in hip hop as well.
No, Mrs. Swabhouse, no, Black Americans started rap. not hip hop. And so Tariq might be getting hip hop mixed up with rap. Hip hop is 5 elements. So Tariq always shows just the rapping. He does not show the other elements. So we started to rap, but Black Americans were not tagging trains, bro. We was not tagging, not like that.
Yeah, tagging.
Yeah, Black Americans wasn't doing no graffiti like that. Not that I remember.
Yeah, tagging. He tag everything. That's it. Gangs do tags too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, gangs do tags.
A lot of tags.
Yeah, but they didn't put.
That's
a lot
not for art. That ain't no art. That was for beef. Anything. They wanted smoke. That's what that was about.
Yeah, they didn't put the artistic value in it like the real graffiti artists. Like that's a talent.
This tagging was for something a lot different.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, tagging was for different stuff. But yeah, man. Like I said, like it come down to Fat Joe, man. Fat Joe be. I don't know, bro. Fat Joe always rubbed me the wrong way. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. For the longest of time, never been a Fat Joe fan. But Fat Joe's always moved very funny to me, and still moves funny. You know what I'm saying? Half the time, you don't even know what he be talking about. I haven't heard him do a bunch of lives, and like, bro, what are you saying, dog? You have no substance to what you say. You literally just talking to talk because you old, bro. Like, don't make sense, man.
Yeah, he kind of tripped a little bit, you know.
Bro had his shirt off, like. Fat Joe, you're not that guy, man. You ain't that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't never gonna be that. You gotta chill with all this ripping your shirt off. Like, bro, what's really good, man? I don't understand this, man.
A lot of guys like that, they blocked a lot of artists. They blocked a lot of artists from getting to where they want to go so they could be in the front.
Mm-hmm. That's a fact. I mean, he knew he wasn't that talented. I'm sure he knows he's not that talented because he's not. Again, he has always had people behind him to hide his so-called star power that he technically doesn't really have. You know what I'm saying? It's like full star power. Like, you just a name at this point. You know, like who you got behind him? You got Terror Squad. There's always a squad behind him, bro. Always a squad. If it's not Terror Squad, it's somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Remember in the era of Wayne taking over, he was making songs then, but those were always collabs. You have DJ Khaled, Wayne, Birdman, T.I. Some people will be behind him though, that are actual stars that will be behind him to make him look like he might be a star. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, man. R.I.P. Pun, but listen, y'all. First of all, salute. So Pharaoh said that y'all gotta make sure y'all follow him on YouTube, man. He always on YouTube, always active. And make sure y'all follow him. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh said that on YouTube is where you find him. Always on, big supporter of the channel. Salute for joining as always. You know what I'm saying? I brought him up because I know he would have a lot of information on the topic because, you know, he been around. He definitely know a lot. So it's good to have those knowledgeable elders, you know, on the line for sure. You dig?
Yeah, brother, you're doing a good job. Salute to you. Keep doing your thing. Salute. Keep pushing the line.
Salute.
You know, you're one of my favorite channels, so do your thing.
Appreciate you. You know, for sure. Definitely do this again sometime, for sure. Never. But yeah, definitely appreciate you joining. But salute to the chat. I'll be back on with more content, but salute to y'all. Y'all be easy. I'm up out of here. Peace.